Hi everybody, welcome Tammy from Tammy's Homesteading Crafts. Today we are in the corner of my office where I like to come to you guys for a knitting podcast. We are 4 weeks since we did our last podcast and hopefully the sound will be okay. I do have my window open and I no longer have a mic. I no longer have a clicker that'll allow me to stop my video, so it's going to be a lot more of editing for me because I'm going to have to edit out everything that I don't want to see because I'll have to go around and turn the camera on and off. Before, I had a little clicker that I could just click and the camera would shut off and then it would start back up. All of that has mysteriously stopped working in the past since I podcasted last. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to try to do this today. Hopefully the video, it's picking me up pretty good on just the normal audio on the phone itself without the microphone. We will see what it is doing at that point in time. But yeah, it's been 4 weeks since we podcasted last. Today is May 12th. This will air May 18th. So we have a lot of stuff to go over. I have a finished object. I have a few new things into the website. I also have, as I'm looking down here, a number of whips. Quite a few new ones that I cast on. And then we bought some yarn. We also got some gifted yarn to us, but we have a lot of yarn to come into the stash. So if you guys are interested in any of this, stick around. Okay, so before we get started, I'd just like to welcome everybody to my channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, watching my video, liking and subscribing on the podcast. I really appreciate all of you that are doing that. It really, I try to get to everybody's response and answer them, or at least give them a heart that I liked your response. But for those of you who have not subscribed, please consider doing so. It does benefit me by you subscribing to my channel. Okay, so let's get into the podcast. The first thing we usually do when we get into a knitting podcast is we will talk about my website. I have a website called tammyshomesteadingcrafts.com where I make and sell bags and other knitting accessories. So I make bags that can be used for knitting, crocheting, or all types of crafting. They don't have to be just for, they're just a bag. They were, yes, designed to be a knitting, crocheting bag, but they also can be for all kinds of other things. It's a bag. The other thing that I do carry are needle point stoppers, the little silicone characters that you can get that go on the end of your needles. We have yarn koozies. We also have a few stitch markers in there as well. But that is about it that we have in our shop. I will put the website, of course, all the information I talk about will be linked below this video in the more section, but I'll run the website across the bottom of the screen while I'm talking about the bags that I have to show. We have not done a lot of sewing. We've been pretty busy with doing a lot of knitting and trying to get things done, but I did make a couple of new bags. I had a request for a Marauder's map, large bag with pockets. I did that the other day, and while I was cutting it out, I ended up making a couple other bags. So I'll show you those bags. The one is already sold, but the other ones will be on the website. But I will show you the one that I made because it turned out really, really cute. Okay, so the one that was requested, that is a special order, is this Marauder's map bag with a handle. It's a large one with handle, gusset and drawstring, and it does have the pockets on the inside as well. Nice large bottom on this. But one of my customers saw the bag that I had. I did the medium one for a show, and she saw that and she's like, oh, I would love one. I says, well, I don't know if I have enough material to make inside and outside Marauders map, but we could do the Marauders map with burgundy. And she goes, oh, I like that. So we talked about it and we decided what we were going to do. So I got this made the other day. So this one is actually sold, but yeah, so that was where we have. So if any of you guys see a bag on the website or on the website or even on the podcast here and you like it, reach out to me. I will be more than happy to try to work with you to make a special design bag if you want it large or extra large, or if you wanted a small that there wasn't. If I have the material, I have no problem trying to make it again. Sometimes it's limited quantity of material. That's all I've got, and I've used it all. But if I still have a little bit more, I'll be more than happy to make a custom bag for you if that is something that you want. But just reach out to me. Like I said, all the information for the website will be down below. Okay, I was able to get a couple of Notions pouches with those. So I got 2 of those. We did the burgundy on the inside, put the Marauders map on the outside. Got a couple of those, and then I ended up getting a medium drawstring, Marauders map on the outside. I did the Deathly Hollows for the drawstring, and then I just paired it with the burgundy. But that is all the sewing that I have been doing in the last couple of weeks. Haven't had a lot of sewing. I have a number of bags, and sales have been slow. To be very honest with you guys, sales have been slow, so I'm not making a ton of new bags. I've got a ton of material over there, but I have over 400 bags sitting in the other room. I have trunk shows and stuff that I'll be shipping them to, and I don't want to leave myself with no bags on the website when I do ship to trunk shows. But also, I don't want to keep making bags to send to trunk shows here and there when I have so many already sitting over there. My last dump of bags that I made, I sold a lot of them sitting over there. They didn't go. Maybe the right person didn't see them. Maybe people haven't been on the website, or maybe it's just people aren't buying right now. Usually March, April, May is usually a slow month for sales anyways. So I'm hoping by the end of May, 1st of June, it starts to pick up and people start buying more. But I have a ton of stuff to start making when I start selling. I do know, this is a little heads up, guys. I do know that I will be doing a Memorial Day weekend sale. For those of you who are on Instagram, on Facebook, I'll probably put something out here, maybe a little short out here on YouTube. But I'll also, if you guys are not subscribed to any of my channels or even to the email for the website, do that, because I will also send out a thing through the website as well for those who don't have any of the other social media. I have a few people that just go by the website. They don't do any social media. Okay, so that is all of the updates to the website as far as what we've got made for selling. Okay, so let me pause you guys for a minute. Is me getting out of the chair, going and pausing it, rearranging my stuff so that I can get to the next thing that I need to talk about. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is my one and only finished object. I was able to get my fingering weight cardigan off the needles. It turned out so cute. It's got it goes just past my elbows for the sleeves. I wanted something that I could wear in the summer with a short sleeve shirt, and it just goes down right here about on my, just past my elbows. I love it. It's what I wanted. I tried it on the whole entire time I was making it so that I could make sure that I had it the length that I wanted. I could have probably gone a little bit longer on the sleeves and then still put the 3-inch cuff. And then it would have allowed me to do a longer cuff down here on the bottom. I like the length that it is. That's why I stopped, because I wanted that length, but it is only 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches there. I don't care. The pattern showed you to have the same length cuff as you did on your sleeves. This is the length I wanted, and I wanted to use all of this yarn here, so I didn't have any of it left. I do have a decent sized ball. I think I have 36 grams of this green left, which is okay because it's a solid color. I can put it with something else. It's not quite a half skein, but it's more than a mini skein. So I'll be able to use it for, there's a lot of shawls that don't require a full skein, but they require a little bit more than a mini. So yeah, but I have those as well. But I have not blocked it yet, have not washed it. I'm going to, after I get done today, going to get it blocked, but I was able to get my collar done and then my ribbing on the front done. Once I block that, I'll be able to pin it out and it'll dry flat and I won't have an issue with it. That button band is not, there's no buttons to go on it. I probably could, if I wanted to, put some snaps or something on it, but I really don't want to. I just want it to be able to just have as a little bit of a cover up. But I really like this. This is the Land and Sea cardigan. I think it's by Barocco. I think that's who the pattern is by, Barocco. But I'll put all the information down below. But my yarn is from Cornbread Honey, and that is her Helping Hands colorway that she had. And then the solid is from Kimber, and it is her moss green in her year of color that she did last year with her monthly colorway. So that is all of my finished objects. Everything, all the stuff, all of my ends are woven in. I just have to take it downstairs and give it a nice soak and then bring it up and let it dry so that I can start wearing it. But this is definitely the sweater that I wanted to be able to get done so that I could wear and have it for this time of year. When it's a cool night, cool morning, I can put it on over top of a t-shirt and then turn around and take it off if I need to at the end of the, when I need to. So there is my only finished object. But I'm really happy with it. It's another sweater that I got done and it fits perfect. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm gonna jump. Normally I talk about the rest of my whips, but I want to talk about this one thing that I got. Last time I talked about my sock tubes that I have, and this is my DK weight sock tube that I have. And this is going to be the first one that I'm going to cut and get cast on for socks. I'm going to figure out my halfway point, put my markers in, cut, and then when I was at Cornbread and Honey for local yarn store day, I asked her if she had DK minis, and she didn't have any that matched this, but she dyed me some that matched it. So I now have my DK minis to go with my sock tube. So these are kind of part of my yarn that I got in, but I needed these to be able to do this. This is one of the next things I want to really sit down and try to figure out. I'm hoping I can start having some headspace to be able to figure that out and cut those out. But I wanted to show those. I finally got the minis to do that, and that'll be my first sock tube that I'm going to cut. I figure that it's DK weight yarn. It's a little thicker, a little easier to see the stitches than on fingering, and easier to pick up. I'm hoping. We'll see. But those are there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be our whips. Well, where to begin? I'm not even sure which one I've had on the needles. I guess I do know. My poncho is the one I've had on the needles the longest of everything that's here, because I think I had my sweater, my finger and white sweater that I just got off the needles was on the needles when we went to Tennessee, along with my poncho. Of course, I've had socks on the needles and stuff, but I'll show you my poncho. It's making progress. We don't have a ton of progress on it. We got about an inch and a half maybe in the yellow or on the green. I'm going to move my marker while I'm talking about it. I sat down yesterday. I was making something for breakfast yesterday, and it had a timer of 30 minutes. And I sat down and I grabbed this. I was like, well, I haven't worked on this in a while. And 30 minutes literally gets me 1.5 times around this. That's how many stitches they are here. So I was able to knit all the way around it once and then halfway around it in 30 minutes. At least I know where I'm at with my 30 minutes. I still have, this is going to take me a little bit. I mean, I would like to have it done, but being that it's fingering weight and there's 5 skeins, it's going to be a little bit warm. So I'm hoping to have it done for the fall to be able to wear it in the fall. And then again in the spring when you need a little bit of a coat, but you don't need a winter coat. But that is my plan for that. It's relatively easy. It might not be something that's going to get a lot done because it's getting bigger. If I'm knitting outside, it's going to be too warm to have on my lap. It might be one of the projects that I take when I go to knit, where I'm inside all day. We'll see. It's a mindless knit. I'm able to just sit and knit and not have to worry about it. Let's see, the next thing that I had on the needles. Dog's barking. I think everything else was newer of last week and not on the needles. I had started it. Let's talk about this one. This one I know I'm going to most likely be changing. I've started this for my friend. He would like another bandana shaped kind of cowl. And we picked the colors and I did it. And I absolutely love the colors. But I'm not loving the colors in this pattern. It's just not grabbing me. I do like this color. I like the way this is, but I don't like the amount of yellow. I'm not liking this with the pattern. I have a call out to him. He's going to stop over and let me look at it and see. But I have a feeling this one is going to get frogged and we are going to do a whole nother pattern. We have plenty of time. He doesn't need it till the fall. But yeah, I'm not happy with it. The more I worked on it, the more I wasn't happy. And I'm like, I got to stop. I got to have him look at this. If he likes it, I will keep going of what we're doing. If he does not like it, I have no problem ripping it out, taking the 2 colors, and picking a whole nother pattern to do. I don't mind the pattern. It's a very nice and easy pattern to do. I'm just not liking the way it is knitting out at the moment. So that one is kind of like on hold till he gets back from vacation to come over and look and see where we're at. I don't want to get any more into it and find out that we really have to take it all out. Okay, so then the next thing I got on the needles around that same time was my Your Slip is Showing. And this is coming along nice. I am into, I'm into the 4th section of rotating. I don't know. It looked like it was supposed to be a lot bigger of a pattern. And it's not coming out very big. I'm hoping it's going to go for quite a bit longer. Because as of right now, it hasn't used a lot of yarn. And there's 4 skeins in here. And I was kind of hoping I could get rid of almost 4 skeins of yarn. Was my plan. But I mean, it's pretty. I like the pattern. Very easy to follow, easy to work on. But yeah, we have this going. So that is that one. Okay, well, my muscle burl. That I guess I had on the needles when we went to Tennessee. I didn't work on it much when I was down there. And I really, I probably should move my, there was no stitch marker on this because I think this was a brand new cast on actually last month. Oh no, I had started. I have a little tiny one all the way down here. I mean, I got a lot done on it. I'll explain why I got a lot done. Somebody is annoying the dog, apparently. She is not a happy camper out there. Okay, so my muscle burl. This is where I was at when I podcasted last. Got a little bit done on it. You know, it's just something, it's easy enough to take and work on when I'm a car rider. Not very often am I a car rider that I can take it and work on that. But yeah, I try to take it as much as I possibly can. But yeah, I mean, this is for me. It's not like it's got to get put together immediately and finished immediately because I'm not going to wear it till the fall. But yeah, so I mean, this is my 2 colors. I usually try to hold 2 colors together and make it a DK weight. We'll see. But I got that done, worked on. Okay. Let's talk about our socks. I know I've had both of these on the needles for a little bit. I have worked on my socks for a little bit. I've got this one to the point of the heel flap, the heel turn, and all of my stitches are picked up. And now I'm to the point where I need to do the heel turn here and then pick up these stitches and then across, then pick up the rest of my stitches, and then I'll be able to just work the gusset stitches, which will be a little bit easier for me on this. And you can take them to different places. I don't take them until I get them connected to start the heel flap. I can do the heel flap and that while I'm at a knitting thing, whatever, or riding in the car. It's not that big of a deal, but turning the heel and having to look at the book to see where I'm at, it's all a little bit cumbersome, so I try not to take them until I'm to that point. So those are, it's just a pair of socks to have on the needles, and also to get rid of that last little bit of yarn that I have. Okay, so the next pair of socks that I have, and these I've got done to, I've got the heel flap done, and I'm ready to turn the heel, and I just didn't. These are my ones that I keep up in my office when I'm working and during meetings, and I can't really do a heel turn when I'm in a meeting because I have to watch the directions and follow everything. So I'll get the heel turned here and then get them put on so that I'm into the gusset of these ones as well. And then I can just go back to working on them during meetings and not have to worry about anything because it'll be easy enough to do with picking up your gussets and then working your foot. But yeah, just trying to get those done. I'll have enough yarn left with these to be able to most likely do another pair. So I'll have another pair of these socks. I don't really need another pair of this color sock, but I don't know who else to make them for because I don't know if there's going to be enough to do. It was a smaller skein than what I normally get for fingering. I think it was only 400 meters or 400 yards instead of most of my fingering that I get is 463. So yeah, just wanna, I mean, like I said, I'll probably have enough to do another pair of little socks for me, but maybe not anybody else. Okay, so those are both my socks, my hat. Oh, this was the other thing that I had cast on as of last podcast, but I don't think the other things I had cast on yet. Yeah, I had just had this cast on, so that's where I was for last podcast. I got all the decorative stuff done. I'm now on the very just knit. Knitting the round. It's very not thinking, easy to just work and do it. So let's put this in a different spot so it's not right by my beginning of round. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do 30 minutes on knitting on all of my projects because I do have 12 full projects now that I'm working on. Even with the one that I got finished, I think I had another one cast on. I think I still have close to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I guess just 11. Just 11. Okay. I don't think... yeah, maybe I did. Oh, no, I think I cast this on. I don't have any stitch markers in this, so I don't know as I just have started this cast on or not. This is my All Points South cowl. I got this started, I think, right after I podcasted because I had the yarn caked up and was ready to go, and I was just waiting to get one other thing done, and I got my shawl, sea glass shawl done, so I cast this on. So let me get a stitch marker here, a progress keeper, so that I can keep track of where I'm at for next time. But yeah, I'm just getting to the point of, I just cut both of my 2 skeins and I'm on to the 3rd skein. There's a decent amount that I have to do with some lacy patterns in this section. So I'm going to do that and then I cast back onto the other section. Just something different. I do have to read the pattern on all of these. This is my Long Meadow Farms 2 colorways here, and then this one here that I just started casting on is my, I believe, December Patreon from Cornbread Honey. My 3 colors that I have here. And that is the All Points South by Casapinka. Okay. This is a new cast on. I know for sure. I did this when we were at, I started this when we were at the retreat. Everybody's doing it. This is the Grid Gambit. I got this cast on. These are 2 colors from Kimber. One, the solid green is her tealy green in the color, in the year of color, and then the pink and green is Watermelon Sugar from the year before when I got her monthly advent or monthly colorway. But yeah, I did it in fingering so that I could have a lighter weight cowl. But this is fun, easy to remember. You know, once you do, it's a 4-row repeat basically. Easy enough to remember. Yeah, it's just, you know, I don't have a lot of knitting time. Well, I'm having a lot of knitting time, but I've got to separate it over a number of different projects. So I'm not getting as much done on this as I would like to. But we will. We'll slow down here with the number of cast-ons that we have. We'll start getting some things off. The next two that I have to talk about, once they get off the needles, that'll relieve my knitting a little bit. I've been really concentrating on them because they technically need to be done by June 7th. We'll see. They might not get done by then, but we'll see. So those are, and I know I cast these on after my last podcast because I did not have the yarn. I went and got the yarn and I started working on it. It's going to be a little baby girl in the family, and I asked if they would love to have a knitted sweater set, and they said yes. So I started making this. I liked this yarn, the way it was knitting out. She didn't want much pink. There's more pink in it than I think she would like, but it's still kind of cute. I'm still finishing it, and I'm going to give it to her. If she doesn't like it, she doesn't like it. I think she will like it once she sees it. It's cute. It's a little pinky. It's a little girly. It's got a little hat to match it, so I've got to get the hat done, as well as this. The only problem is they only had 2 skeins of this, and I have not found a 3rd skein. I'm hoping I have enough to finish my sleeves and to make a hat. We'll see. I'm going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering for the sleeves because I would like the sleeves to match. If it was for me, I wouldn't care. But it's for a gift for somebody else, and I really would like the sleeves to match. So I am going to pull my yarn to the point that I'm at where there's the green, and it doesn't matter. It looks like each green has about the same amount in it, and then it goes to the white, and then with the gray in it. So I've got to make sure I start with the green because the sleeve is done with green, and end with it, and then we'll have what's left for the hat. I'm hoping there's enough. If not, the hat is not right with the sleeves, I could easily get another ball and do the hat with another ball. I just have not found it. They haven't had it back at Hobby Lobby. It's just their Hobby Lobby Happy Bee, soft and silky. I just figured it was a nice washable yarn for a baby sweater. And she had asked for something with a little bit of pink in it, like specks of pink. So I found this grayish color that has specks of pink in it. So I decided I would make a bigger one for more of a winter fall type sweater with a hat for when she's a little bit older. So I've got this one going as well. Again, a hat with it. The hat, this one I have not done the sleeves. I had to wait to do the sleeves. I started the sleeve with a circular needle. It was just too big of a circular needle, and then I was getting confused with doing magic loop. I was getting too many yarn overs because I was pulling the yarn the wrong way with the magic loop, and I figured I needed to go to DPNs. I'm comfortable with DPNs, So I just had to order and get some DPNs. So they came the other day and I started my sleeve. Maybe with this one here, I might be able to put them both 2 at a time on Magic Loop and get them both done at the same time. Since I don't have to worry about color, I have an extra skein. Actually, I have 2 skeins of this extra. So I can easily pull one out, hook it onto the sleeve, and start going. Just as I'll make sure that it has the same, maybe the same dye lot, you know, so that they possibly came from the same section of color. But I do have another one of those that I can pull and get, get yarn from to be able to make the sleeves a little bit faster on this one, and which allows me to be able to put the sleeves on this one now instead of waiting till I'm done with those DPNs. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I have my longer circular needle in here that I was using. I will put that in. Actually, I might even have a longer one than those lengths. So, because a longer one just does allow me a little bit more space when I'm doing 2 at a time, even though there's not that many stitches. I just like to have the extra room to go back and forth. But yeah, I might end up trying to cast that on today so that I could possibly get these done. Like I said, there's a hat. The hat starts, all of this was to be done flat, which I'm not doing. I did it in the round because it just was easier for me to think of it in the round. But the hat has this ribbing. It's not ribbing. It's knit every row, so it's stockinette stitch, I guess, because this is seed stitch. So this is, I guess, stockinette stitch, and it has that for the base of the hat. I don't know how much that is going to move and stretch for a band on a hat. So I think I'm going to take and do a ribbing on the hats. I would like to still do this pattern here on the hat if I can figure it out. The hat is called for starting with, I believe it's 6 stitches and working your way out to a triangle and then stitching it together. Again, heads round. Why am I going to do it flat and seam it up? So I'm hoping I'll be able to figure it out. If not, they're just going to get a ribbed hat with the seed stitch on it. And that's going to be the end of it. That's all that that's just the hat that they're going to get if I can't figure it out. I don't have a ton of time to do this because I have to have this done before June 7th. So this is what I've been majority working on since we came home from the retreat. When I took all of my, and I'll talk about that in what we've been doing and where you can find us section. But when I was at the retreat, I took all of my projects and I rotated through them, and I worked every day on all the projects. I guess I wasn't thinking my sleeves were going to take me this long, and I guess I was thinking, I always do sleeve socks 2 at a time, so I wasn't thinking I could just do them 2 at a time. Well, I only had the one ball, and then I have to cut my yarn to make it so that they match. So I figured I need to do one and then do the other one. But since that one does not have color changing and it's all the same color, I can do that one 2 at a time, and I can get that one going, and hopefully when I'm done with the one that already has the sleeve almost done, when I'm done with that other sleeve on that one, I'll be done with the sleeves on the other sweater as well, and then I can work on figuring out the hat. But I'm going to have to do the hat on most likely DPNs, because infant hats, that, I want it to, like I said, I think I'm going to do ribbing because ribbing has, you know, a little bit of give to it, but I don't want a hat that's huge, but I don't want a hat that's too small. And I figure the ribbing's going to give it a little bit of give so that I have growth in there. If the bigger hat is too small, we can always make another one. Not a big deal. The little hat for the newer one, the white one, which is a 3-month, I want to make sure that hat's going to fit for the 3 months. I don't want it to be too small. And I don't know how much extra fabric I'm going to have. And maybe we don't get a hat with that one. We just get a sweater. I'll have to see if I can find another skein of that yarn and if I have enough for that. But those are all of my whips and current cast-ons that I have. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but we have a lot of yarn brought in. We had local yarn store day. Of course, we had to go and support. But also, one of my stores that I bought from before was going out of business. I talked about Krisy's Fiber. Krisy's Fiber Arts was going, her store was closing, her brick and mortar. She had another really, really good sale. So I ended up purchasing from her again to get some more different kinds of yarn that I've not tried before. So let's talk about our yarn that we got in and some other acquisitions that we got. Okay. Well, the first thing I'm going to talk about is we're going to do this a little bit different. We're going to do kind of life, where we've been, where you can, and then we'll do where you can find us. But first weekend in May, we had another one of our retreats at Chautauqua, where all of the people from the knitting group that I go to in Lakewood, New York, gets together and we do a retreat. Well, one of the things that we do at the retreat is we will have a kind of like a Chinese auction type thing where you people bring in stuff that they no longer love. Whether it's yarn, bags, stitch markers, whatever you've got, or you've used what you want and you have leftovers and you just want to get rid of some of this stuff. So we had a ton of stuff. I had a friend that donated a huge box full of yarn and bags and all kinds of stuff. So we had a bunch of stuff on the table. And I didn't really need anything. But one of the ladies there, she actually brought this, and then she said, I just really want you to have this. So she ended up giving this to me, and this is, we have 5 skeins of this. This is Knit Picks Rose Garden, and it is lace weight, and I have 5 50-gram skeins of this, enough to do a sweater. Easy enough to do a sweater. I could hold it double for a fingering weight sweater, and probably still have a little bit left over. So I'm really looking forward to this. So this is 5 mini skeins of this that I ended up getting into my stash. So I have this to go into my stash to be able to make a fall sweater with. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping to be able to get this caked up. I've never worked with lace weight yarn, so I'm hoping to be able to get that caked up and use that for a project here relatively soon. But that was one of the things. This was a gift to me, so this was an acquisition that I didn't have to pay for. Okay, and then during our retreat with the Chinese auction, they had other things that you could bid on. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I got this. This is, I don't have much, this is worsted weight. I don't have much worsted weight yarn. I don't buy a lot of it, but this is 400 yards. So this is about 2 skeins of a worsted weight. Yeah, it's probably about 2 skeins, 400 yards. Usually in a worsted weight, I think you only get like 260. So it's almost 2 skeins of worsted weight yarn. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I really don't. So that was one of the things. And the other that I ended up getting, and this is a 2-ply fingering, and this is 80% lamb's wool and 20% mulberry silk. And I got this pretty one. That's pretty as well. There's 475 yards on this. So yeah, this is fingering. So this, I wouldn't be able to do a whole sweater with that, but I could do a shawl or something with it. It looks like it's going to be, maybe do some striping. I don't know. I've never worked with this. This is really soft. They both are actually really soft. This one is 50% alpaca, 30% merino wool, and 20% silk. So this is really soft as well. But I know I need about 800 yards to do a sweater. So I don't think I could do a sweater with this, but I could do a worsted weight shawl with it. So I have those two, and there's more yet. This, I think I have enough to do a sweater with. This is sport weight, and it's 100, each one is 150 grams. So I end up having 920. So I'm thinking I would be able to do a sport weight sweater with this. Short sleeve probably, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. I could always possibly add, since this is so solid, I could possibly add another, fingering weight or whatever. It's not super, super thick, but it is a little bit thicker than a lot of the fingering that I have. But, yeah, this is, what is the make of this? This is 100%, just 100% wool. But yeah, a nice purple. And I could put another color on it with ribbing and collar just to lighten it up. Or I could have it all that color. Then I ended up getting this brown. I actually have another skein of this as well. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, so now I have 2 skeins of this brown. But we'll see. But I have this brown that I was gifted. And then there, or not gifted, but I won. And then there is this fingering weight hawthorn, and this is also Knit Picks. I didn't realize this was a Knit Picks yarn. But yeah, it's %80 superwash Highland wool and 20% pomade. But yeah, this is it's pretty light color. Could go with something. But yeah, so this is what I ended up getting from like the Chinese auction. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it at this point. And it might be if I don't use something somewhere down the road, I might be like, you know what, let's regift this. Or let's, put some of these in there because we just need to get rid of some of this other stuff, but we'll see. Okay, now into, oh, I'll talk about these. So with my sock tubes, I've been watching a lot of videos, and one of the things they tell you to do is to take waste yarn when you go to cut them, and you would put waste yarn in all the way around on each side, and then you space between, and then you would cut the space in between. And I thought, why am I going to use waste yarn? And then I have to still put it onto a needle. So I was searching online, and I was able to find these very generic, like flexi flips. Very generic. They're not all that great, but you know what? They would work to put your yarn one on each side, and then I could possibly knit them off, at least onto whatever size needle that I want to use instead of these, if I don't think I can use these. But I thought they would just be holders for the yarn once I cut, instead of using waste yarn. I ended up getting 4 packs of them. It says 2 millimeter, so I think that is a 1 or maybe a 0. I'm not really sure what the 2 millimeter is, but it doesn't look like a 0 to me. It looks like a 1 to me, not a 2 millimeter. So who knows? But I thought it would just hold my stitches at that point in time. But I ended up getting 4 packs of them for the price I would buy 1 pack of the Addie's Flexi Flips. And I thought this will just keep me from having to have waste yarn and weaving it through. I can just put it through on these. I'm hoping it works. Who knows? It might not, and I might end up going to a needle with waste yarn. We'll see. But I bought these to try. Okay, let's get a drink. And let's get our yarn over here. Okay. I guess we'll talk about this first. So, of course, since last podcast, I ended up going to Cornbread Honey for the local yarn store day. She ended up giving these little gift bags to everybody that came in and purchased. Got a gift bag. Inside it, we got a little tiny micro mini skein. I've got 3 or 4 of these, and I just don't know at this point what I'm going to do with them. They will probably make really good. I usually never use solid colors for my socks, so I need the solid minis. But one of the girls said, she goes, you know, I just knit mine up into I-cord and I use it as shoelaces. And I thought, that's a good idea. But I don't wear things that have shoelaces. But I have 3 or 4 of these that she's given these little 5-gram minis. I don't know. We'll figure something out to do with it. We've got them here in our bucket with our minis. They're down in there. So we'll add that one to it. The other thing that was in our little bag are these cute little beehives. It's got a little bee on it, beehive. And these are for when you cast on and you have a tail of yarn, you can wrap them into this. Or if you are working on a project and you need to know you need more of that yarn, or you want to know what color you used, you can wrap the yarn with that as well. So I have these little bees here to put and use in my projects. And the other thing, we got a couple of stitch markers. This one is a heart with a rainbow on it. Put it over here in the stitch markers. And then this one is balloons, because it was also her anniversary during local yarn store day. So she had her anniversary and local yarn store day all at the same time with little balloons. So this was the little gift bag that she gave away while we were there for local yarn store day. Okay, then I ended up picking up my, there it is, there's a couple extra over here that I forgot. I ended up picking up my February Patreon, which I had paid for. It just was not dyed when I was there in February. So I got my February Patreon, really pretty purple, tan colors. It's really brown. I think it's gonna just knit up gorgeous. So I got that. And then I also picked up my March Patreon. This is very, very springy. Loving this color. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. You know, these would probably go really well with it. So we'll see. I don't know. I got an idea for that as well, but you know, this might work. We'll see. So those were the two that I had purchased and was picking up. Then of course she did a local yarn store colorway. And I'm going to take the thing off this because some of it, the color is just really pretty. We've got teal, we've got pink, we've got purple, we've got green, we've got orange, we've got like a, it's like a navy blue. I don't know, there's just so many colors in here. Lime green and just very pretty. I loved it. And of course, you know, she didn't have many. And I said to her, I was like, hey, are we allowed to get two? She goes, absolutely. So I got two. And of course, you know, they don't look, this one here doesn't look like it has any orange in it. I know it's tucked in there somewhere. It's just the way it got twisted. The orange is in there somewhere. I'm not too worried. They were all dyed at the same time. They're there. The colors are there. It's just, you know, you gotta find them. I could untwist it and retwist it and get my oranges and stuff, but in the lime greens, they're there. But yeah, so here are my two local yarn store colorways that I got. And then, of course, I saw this in a bin, and I had never seen that she had lace weight before. But she had, of course, these two bright Cosmic Bowling, it's called, in lace weight. And I thought, you know, there's 931 yards in this. I could definitely easily do a sweater for myself by holding these two double and making fingering weight, or a little bit heavier than fingering weight, but not quite sport weight. So that's my plan with some of this. I'm trying to remember when I buy, if I can, I buy 2 skeins of it so that I have a plan of what I'm going to use it for. But yeah, a nice, you know, I gotta find some more short sleeve sweaters. And again, this, if I'm holding it and getting fingering weight, I can easily put a fingering solid for the rib, collar, whatever. There's many different colors here that I could pull if I want to on anything. But yeah, so those were from Cornbread Honey for my local yarn store day. Then, of course, my order from Krisy's Fiber Arts came. Let me finish getting it over here. Because, you know, I got some yarn. And the first batch I ordered was all fingering. And I went back and I ended up getting, they had sport and some lace weight. And I'd never had, that was the first time I had seen lace weight. Oh my goodness, I can't speak today. But, you know, and I had seen sport, but I've never bought sport because I just, you know, not that it's a lot less, but it is. I would need 3 skeins of sport weight to make a sweater with, because it's not going to quite give me my 800 or close to 900 yards that I need. But, you know, we can easily add, you know, I can start doing a couple of sport weight cowls, or instead of doing a worsted weight or a DK weight shawl, I can do a sport weight shawl. I'll have more yardage in a sport weight than I would in the sport weight than I would DK. But this is what we've got. We ended up getting, this is 100% superwash merino, sport weight Whispering Woods, or Whisper in the Wind. Wow, Whisper in the Wind, and it's, you know, yellow, green, pinks, a light color, really pretty. And this is a sport weight. Then I ended up getting Tropical Water in sport weight as well. And the sport weight has 325 yards in it. And then I ended up getting 2 of these. And this is Cameron. They're sport weight. So this gives me 654 or 56 yards. But it's not super thick that I could possibly add a fingering weight. It's not much different than some of the fingering that I have. So I probably could add a solid fingering to do cuffs, collar, and stuff with those. And then I ended up getting, and this is Emotional Support Chicken. I didn't realize that's what it was when I bought it. I don't care. It's gold. It's Golden Sport. I don't know what that merino nylon. Oh, so this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, where the other was 100% superwash. Okay. And still 328 yards with this. But yeah. But you know, it's the orange colors that I like. And then I ended up getting, the last thing I ended up getting was ice blue. And this is 100% superwash merino, lace weight, 931 yards. But this is blue as ice. And I thought I could easily hold that double, do a nice tee with that color. This is another one of my favorite colors that I like, teals and my oranges and stuff like that. So I'm very happy with all those. So that is all the yarn that I got. That was a lot. It was a lot of yarn. A lot of yarn. But one of the things I started to do is I decided that I really need to figure out how much yarn is coming in and how much yarn I am taking out. So I had to go back to possibly my first podcast of this year to see what was brought in and what was out. So in January, right now, I ended up bringing in 5 skeins of yarn. And only 1 full skein went out. But that's okay. We're going to do better. February, though, we brought 5 skeins in, and we didn't get anything finished. So nothing came out. But that's okay. We will get stuff out. March, we brought in 11 skeins, but we got out 3. Now, we have a lot of projects going on. Now, when I say the yarn is out, like the skein of yarn that is left from my, where is it? Where's my green that I just put in here? Right here. This is the green that is left over from my fingering weight cardigan. I'm considering this no longer in my stash because it's less than a 50-gram ball. So this is fingering weight. So when I'm using fingering weight, if I get one fingering weight in, I'm not counting it because it's not a full skein. Now this was brought in February. There's 5 of these. That's a full skein of yarn. So I'm counting this as one full skein of yarn. That's how we're doing this. This is how we're justifying this. But March we brought in 11, went out 3. April we brought in 20 and 2 went out. So I finished 2 projects in April. And we got 2 skeins out. May, we are not at the end of May yet, so we don't know quite how many skeins are brought in yet. We know how many we have right now, but we're still bringing them in. We still placed another order the other day. And I'm hoping we're going to have more than just the 3 skeins for the land and sea. Hoping we're going to have a couple of more skeins of things done that we can say, ooh, we got rid of these. But like my socks for my orange socks, these don't count as anything because I already counted the 2 skeins of yarn coming out with my cowl that I did. That was in March when I got rid of those. I mean, I've done a lot of projects, but a lot of it is done with half skeins or mini skeins. Now, if there's 5 mini skeins in a project, I'm considering that 1 skein. So when I get these done, this will be a skein out when I get these finished. But right now, they're not finished. It's not a skein out yet. Once it's finished, it'll be a skein out. But, I mean, I think I figured out I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 skeins in projects right now. So when I get all of those projects done, that'll be 25 skeins out. That's the way my head works. Yeah, and it's not saying that we're not going to stop buying. Of course not. We're going to keep buying, but we're just going to have to slow down a little bit. But, they've had sales. Every place that I've bought has had sales, and I've been getting some good prices on some yarn, and I'm able to get 2 skeins for the price it would cost me to do 1, and I'm able to make a sweater for the price for half the money. So, that's how I'm looking at this, and that's how I'm working things through. I like making myself sweaters and stuff like that, and I want to keep doing it. I like making shawls. I want to keep doing it. But I do know if I can, I try to get 2 skeins of something so that I could make myself a sweater and do different things with. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about where you can find us. We just finished up a trunk show since from Local Yarn Store Day till this past Sunday, the 11th. We were at Yarnies and Swags in Ohio. So that trunk show finished up. The next trunk show that I have starting is June 17th, and that is Silver Threads and Golden Needle in North Carolina. We will be there for a month. We will be there from June 17th till July 17th. So that is the next trunk show that you guys can find me at. You can always find me on the website. You can reach out to me through that, through Instagram, through Facebook, either of those ways. But the website, what is available, will be on the website. And like I said, keep your eyes and ears open. I will be doing a sale come Memorial Day weekend, because that is between the two trunk shows. So everything that I have will be home, will be in the store, will be available for purchase. And then once after the sale, I will start picking things that are left to ship to the next trunk show. But yeah, so that is everything that I have going on at the moment. I think it's going to be a long one, guys. I don't know. We've got to listen to the dog bark. Hopefully the audio comes over good. I'm hoping. I'm trying to talk a little bit louder. And like I said, I don't have my mic. I'm going to have to sit down and order a mic so that I can have that for the next time, because the mics do definitely work very well. I don't know why it uninstalled itself and would not connect. I've had last couple of times I've had a little bit of issue with the mic not connecting. It's okay when I'm this close usually to the phone, it picks up everything, but when I'm outside I pick up too much other noise that I really do need the mic itself. So hopefully, like I said, this will be okay. But that is it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.